I come to you today first and foremost as a Kentuckian deeply concerned that we are in danger of losing one of our state's signature industries. Kentucky's horse industry, a living, breathing part of our cultural heritage and one of our strongest, most precious commodities abroad, is in a state of crisis. Some even say it's dying. The threat is financial, and it comes from competing states working to lure away what was once ours. Too many stallions and broodmares that used to graze in the green pastures of Kentucky are now located on farms elsewhere. Too many foals whose lungs once filled for the first time with clean bluegrass air are now coming to life elsewhere. And too many sleek thoroughbreds and standardbreds that used to shine on bluegrass dirt and turf are now crossing the finish line again elsewhere. Kentucky is and remains the horse capital of the world. But if we do not act, if we refuse to stand up for our signature industry, that title could be changed to former horse capital of the world. As governor, I cannot and I will not stand idly by and let that happen, not without a fight. That is partly a matter of identity. We don't want to lose the very thing for which so many people and to which so many people reflect as Kentucky's inner soul. But it is also very much a matter of economic value. Folks, there are 100,000 jobs at stake. We do not want to lose those 100,000 horse-related jobs, most of which are held by working-class Kentuckians. And we do not want to lose the $4 billion in investment in our state, represented by the equine industry. So this afternoon, I have added to the call for the June 15 special session the consideration of a proposal to allow video lottery terminals at Kentucky's racetracks. The proposal, if adopted, would be run by the Kentucky Lottery Corporation. VLTs would be limited to the tracks, and revenues would be devoted to increased purses and breeders' incentives, and also to the general fund. Why the urgency? Ellis Park is about to close. Turfway could well face extinction. Churchill Downs has reduced racing days and purses. Keeneland's recent sales and race meets have been off by double-digit percentages. Supporting these tracks is an entire industry, from those who truck the hay to those who exercise the horses. And it's not just a matter of a depressed economy. This downward turn has been an ongoing phenomenon, exacerbated in recent years as other states have used non-traditional gaming revenue to boost purses and breeder incentives. Our proposal would seek to level the competitive playing field, to give our breeders, our trainers, our tracks, our jockeys, our agents, and our suppliers a chance to stay where they want, in Kentucky. It would also allow thousands of working-class Kentuckians to continue to provide their families with a roof over their head, food on their tables, and the ability to send their kids to school. Speaker Stumbo, Speaker Pro Tem Clark, and I have been working on draft legislation for some time. And let me say that no two people have been more outspoken for and passionate about this issue than Greg Stumbo and Larry Clark. I thank them for their leadership and their willingness to step out on these issues. But we still clearly have a lot of work to do. I hope to have legislation ready for filing within the next few days. The legislature, in our judgment, has the authority to enact this legislation without a constitutional amendment. Now, we must determine if we have the will to do so. When it is filed, the legislation will be strongly backed by the industry. It will definitively spell out the licensing fees and the tax rates associated with video lottery terminals at our tracks. As you know, my budget proposal does not contemplate using revenues from gaming to help with the upcoming budget. But this proposal, if ultimately successful, would add significant revenues to the general fund in future years. And those dollars would undeniably assist Kentucky as stimulus dollars begin to disappear in fiscal year 2011 and as our state continues to grapple with a sluggish economy. We have ongoing needs in education, health care, public safety, and economic development. And additional revenues would certainly help our efforts in each of those areas. But while that additional revenue represents an important factor and makes this issue worthy of support, for me, this is first and foremost about trying to save an industry that I believe we cannot afford to lose. It's just that simple. We will be working hard to secure passage in the House. As you know, President Williams has publicly said previously that he is willing to give that issue a fair hearing in the Senate, and I certainly take him at his word. I expect a vigorous debate. That's the process, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But at the same time, I strongly believe that if we all remember our Kentucky heritage, if we all value our equine industry, that debate will have but one outcome. If there is a better idea that secures our place as the preeminent location for horses in America, I'm certainly open to discussing it. But time is of the essence, and as of right now, today, this idea is on the table. It's time to vote on it, up or down, with full knowledge of what is at stake and what is at risk. My belief is that VLTs, confined to our tracks where wagering already exists, is a common sense initiative that can be part of the solution for an industry that for so many people embodies what it means to say, I'm from Kentucky. Finally, let me say this. People keep asking me to assess this measure's chances of passage. The honest answer is, I don't know. Political machinations and calculations are frankly not a part of my reasoning today in placing this issue on the call for this session. What I do know is that for too long, the focus has been on political consequences. And for too long, people have been afraid to act on this issue. The unknown, my friends, cannot be an excuse for timidity or inaction. We could spend the next 6 months talking to legislators and trying to build political support, and we likely would be right where we are today, unclear about the chances for passage. So let us have the wisdom to realize that time is growing short, and let us have the courage to act. Today, I'm calling on legislators and the people of Kentucky to come forward and save the horse industry before it's too late.